So last year, one of my favorite writer-directors had two films out last year. And I just said last year twice. Whoops. Anyways, he had two films out, and obviously I did not see them because he is a man. So it's screener season, so I've been able to catch up on a few of the things I didn't see last year. I'm pretty much almost done with the ones that came out last year that I actually want to see that I didn't see. So today I did Two Birds, One Stone with the two Noah Baumbachs that came out. Um, so the first one, I did it in the order that they were released in the year. The first one was While We Are Young, which came out last March, and it starred Ben Stiller, Naomi Watts, Adam Driver, and Amanda Seyfried. Um, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about the film. I thought that it was what it had to say about the nature of art and specifically the nature of documentary and then therefore uh, nonfiction in general and the idea of authenticity was interesting. And I also liked that in the first half of the film he presents you sort of an idealized look at with the Ben Stiller Naomi Watts character, they're sort of in the middle, and then you get an idealized look at a couple the same age as them that are having children for the first time, and at the same time an idealized look at a younger couple who are married but young and creating art. And from the point of view of the Stiller and Watts characters, you get that grass is always greener sort of look where they see the great things about the one couple and they see the great things about the other couple, and it makes them reflect on their own spot as both artists, creators, and partners in life. However, things turn at the second half, and you realize that everything is shit for everybody, and that the glory of life is in being true to yourself and not how people perceive you and not how you perceive others, because you're never going to be able to know how other people are. Other people are unknowable, and the only true thing you can do is know yourself and be true to yourself and do what you truly feel is right. And that's sort of the lesson that the Stiller and Watts character have to go through. And I think in terms of that process, it's really great. But I see why some people don't like Baumbach because his characters often come across they're hard people to like, and I think in most cases the point is not to like the characters. The point is to understand a different mindset. And Baumbach, like Whit Stillman, sort of moves in a very cultured, very Ivy League esque group of people, and so those are the people he mines these stories from. But in this case, all three of the different characters, like, you sort of see how everything that they're worried about in their worlds is a little bit bullshit, and they need to just chill. Even though the universal concerns of being true to yourself and being authentic sort of apply to everybody. So that's while we're young. It's hard to say. The next one was he teamed back up with his Frances Ha co-writer and star Greta Gerwig. Now, Frances Ha was one of my favorite films from 2 years ago, or from 3 years ago, whatever, 2013, I guess is when it came out. Fucking loved Frances Ha. I've seen that movie so many times. It's really great. Mistress America is kind of a, as they say, a spiritual sequel to that, but I didn't find the character that Gerwig plays in this film as interesting. I felt like she was sort of that same sort of late 20s New York ambitious person who's skilled in a lot of things but doesn't quite know how to deal with that. And then they threw in a character played by Lola Kirk, who is an 18-year-old going to college and dealing with that angst. I thought half of the angst with the trying to fit in really worked, but at the same time, I kind of can't relate because I met all of my best friends from college, like, within the first week of my first semester. I think maybe Berkeley just did a really good job of getting people to socialize. like you had to go to Calso in the summer and you met people there. Although I didn't meet anyone there, that was awkward and horrible. But but I lived in the dorms and we met on the very first move-in day. They had everybody from the dorms get together for a big like, you know, he came. We got in a theater and this guy talked to us about I don't remember what. I don't remember what he was talking about, but I remember meeting friends, and those are friends that I still talk to today. So, I guess because that was my college experience, couldn't quite relate to this character's college experience. Um, I can relate to not getting the grades I expected because I really fucked up a lot my first semester. It was hard. You have to get used to that level of work. But what I didn't really like about the Gerwig character is, although she's very much the kind of millennial, really good, the ability to have talent in many places is sort of maybe not new, but it's a thing I feel a lot of millennials have issues with, in that we have a lot of interests and we have a lot of things that we want to try to do, partly because we're in a place where we can go on the internet and look everything up and figure out, like, this is how you learn to bake, or this is how you learn to make baskets, or this is how you learn to, any number of things, right? And we grew up in a time where they told us we could be anything, and that amount of choice psychologically, and they've done studies on this, the amount of choice is it freezes people up and makes them not choose. And what happens in this film is she has all these ideas, and then when she realizes that she's not going to follow through on her big idea, she then feels like she's never going to do anything because she has all these things and she can't figure out how to follow through. And I kind of wish, but I guess maybe this is just because in Frances Ha, she was sort of half-assing being a dancer, and then she finally did the work and did it. And in Mistress America, she never quite commits to anything, and she never does the work, and she sounds like the kind of person who will never do the work to achieve anything, including happiness and feeling gratification for trying to do something. So the movie sort of felt like unsatisfactory, because I wanted her to at least attempt something, and the fact that neither of the characters really attempt anything by the end sort of made it lacking for me. That said, I still really like Baumbach, and I didn't hate the film. I just didn't, it's sort of a meh, like mid-level okay film. I actually liked and felt like the structure of While We Were Young worked a little better for my taste. But also, I think a lot of people didn't like While We're Young because they don't like Ben Stiller, and I like Ben Stiller. So, I don't dislike him most of the time. So those are the movies I watched tonight. I'm almost sort of done with what I want to catch up with in terms of 2015. And I'm going to some really great women in film events this week in LA. There's the 11th annual Focus on Female Filmmakers short film thing at the American Cinematheque that I went to last year, and it was amazing, and I can't wait for this year's. And then the Academy is showing a Dorothy Arzner silent starring Clara Bow that wasn't shown during UCLA's Arzner retrospective, so I'm super stoked to see that. That's on Monday. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. Tomorrow's the Golden Globes. No women are nominated except Mustang, I think, is the only female director nominated. Go Mustang. If you haven't watched that yet, you should. And happy Saturday night, everybody. Hopefully someone wins the Powerball. I don't know. I didn't buy a ticket. My dad always buys lotto tickets. I figure if he wins, I'll just borrow money from him.